Hello, and welcome to another August edition of Cord Cutting Today. It's August 28th, 2020 here, and if this is your first time checking out our channel, this is where we wrap up the past week in streaming and cord cutting news. But we also do live cord cutting Q&A sessions every Wednesday and topical deep dives on Thursdays. As for this week's news, however, we're going to talk about Netflix and the challenges of keeping customers happy, some Nvidia Shield TV news, a new pay TV service that aims to leverage ATSC 3.0, and more. But before we get to all that though, please do consider clicking those like and subscribe buttons down below if you haven't done so already. They help us continue to produce more video content in the future, and we certainly appreciate it. And we also have a news website, cordcuttersnews.com, and you'll find links to all the stories we're about to talk about in this video down below in the description. All right, now that we've got that established, let's get on with the news, starting with Netflix. Now, it should come as no surprise that Netflix has had a strong year so far, considering the ongoing pandemic and the push for all of us to stay home as much as possible. In fact, the streaming service has added more than 10 million subscribers during the second quarter. That's compared to 2.7 million during the second quarter of 2019. And while that's certainly impressive, some analysts fear the service could be headed for a steep drop-off fairly soon, with some projecting new subscription rates could fall for the third quarter. That might be due in part to slowing content output. The pandemic has put a halt to production on many upcoming TV shows and movies, and analysts say subscribers might lose interest if Netflix can't keep up with the demand for new content. And so while Netflix's current total of about 190 million subscribers is certainly impressive, and it outranks its competitors, it'll be interesting to see how the service can grow moving forward. As for you cord cutters and streamers out there, are you feeling that lack of new content on Netflix just yet? And if so, is it tempting you to try out other services out there? Feel free to let your fellow cord cutters and streamers know in the comment section down below. Earlier this month, we reported on a new feature coming to Android TV that would introduce teaser videos to the home screen. Basically, it's meant to draw your attention to new stuff and maybe, hopefully, get you to click and watch. We've seen the feature pop up on our TiVo Stream 4K, for instance, but so far it looks like Nvidia's Shield TV line might be exempt from the ads. We downloaded the latest available Android TV updates to our own Shield TV Pro, and the home screen remained teaser video free. Now, it's not clear how long that will be the case. After all, it could just be a matter of QA testing needing to wrap up or something, but for now at least, it looks like Nvidia's high-powered streaming device is exempt from those new home screen ads. And speaking of Nvidia's Android TV streamer, this week also saw the release of a software update that adds a couple nifty features. Version 8.2 beefs up the Shield TV's AI upscaling feature and adds some customization options for the current remote control. Now, we've already done a video on how the AI upscaler works and how it attempts to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to boost image quality on lower resolution content, and this new update broadens support to include video resolutions as low as 360p. Now, you shouldn't expect 360p video to miraculously transform into super sharp 4K, but hopefully it brings a solid improvement over standard sharpening techniques. The other headlining addition is the ability to customize the menu button on the Shield remote. Nvidia says you can choose from some 25 possible actions to assign to both a long press and a double press of that menu button. We should note, though, that these new remote control tricks only work on the most recent version of the remote, released back in 2019. So owners of older Shield models will need to upgrade their remote if they want to take advantage. And in case you're curious, a new Shield TV remote currently goes for about $30 on the company's site. And stay tuned, we're aiming to take a closer look at these new features in the near future. In the meantime, if you're a Shield TV user out there and you've given these new features a shot, let us know what you think so far in the comment section down below. In over-the-air news, this week Evoca announced it's currently offering early access to its upcoming service, which aims to leverage the new ATSC 3.0 broadcast standard, or Next-Gen TV, to offer a pay TV service. The goal here is to go live in the Treasure Valley region of Idaho on September 1st, and early adopters can get in on a discount for hardware and reduced monthly charges of $20 for the rest of the year. Now, the regular monthly service price comes in at $49 and so far includes around 60 channels, including some on-demand options. In all, this could be a very interesting use case for ATSC 3.0. And hey, if any of you happen to live within the Treasure Valley area and you end up trying the service out, we'd love to hear from you. Next up, we're nearing the September 4th release of Mulan on Disney+, and in case you haven't been following along, it's shaping up to be a rather unique premiere. We've reported on how the live-action remake is set to go live on the streaming service via what's known as Premier Access for a fee of $29.99. But Disney has updated a page on its Help Center to flesh out a few more details, including platform partners that will also carry the film. Disney lists Apple, Google, and Roku as current distribution partners, and you'll be able to purchase the film via in-app payments through those various services. And as the help entry points out, you'll have access to the film as long as you maintain an active Disney Plus account. And yes, lots and lots of industry folks are keeping a close eye on the Mulan premiere to see how well the film performs, and we'll have just a few more days to find out. In cable TV news, some new numbers indicate we're seeing some significant drops across a number of big-name providers. Analyst firm MoffettNathanson says that for the second quarter of 2020, pay TV providers lost some 1.55 million customers. Now that includes companies like Comcast, which lost about 477,000 TV customers in quarter two, and AT&T, which dropped around 866,000. There was a positive number in that crowd, however. Charter managed to add around 100,000 customers during the quarter, but that alone wasn't enough to prevent an overall slide in numbers. Of course, several companies have pointed to the ongoing pandemic as a key factor contributing to the number of subscriber losses, and we've also seen several companies enter the streaming service market with their own services, including Warner Media's launch of HBO Max and NBC Universal's Peacock. Now, those could certainly be a way to bolster a business as cable TV interest wanes, and MoffettNathanson added that media companies really have no choice but to target these huge streaming markets. So it'll be interesting to see how cable companies continue to adjust to changing consumer interests. Also this week, we reported on some new research that indicates a fair number of folks are planning to ditch their cable subscriptions pretty soon. Research firm Unruly studied the viewing habits of more than 1,800 people back in July and found that 42% of them intend to cancel their cable subscription. Meanwhile, research showed that 35% of consumers have tried out a new ad-supported streaming service since the start of the COVID-19 outbreak. Also, some 3/4 of viewers said they don't mind sitting through some ads if it means getting content for free. Which begs the question, have any of you tried out free streaming services for the first time this year? And if so, which ones have kept your interest? Feel free to share your discoveries with your fellow cord cutters down below. And speaking of free content, earlier this week we rounded up the 10 best free apps for Fire TV users, both in a post on our site, cordcuttersnews.com, as well as a video here on our channel. You might remember we did a similar roundup back in July for the top 10 free apps available on Roku. Well, this one's for Fire TV users, whether that's a Fire TV Stick, Fire TV 4K, or Fire TV Cube, or other devices. In any case, if you're a fan of the platform and you're looking for some more free content to enjoy, we'll have a link to the post in a video description down below, and we'll link to the video right about there, somewhere up there. Okay, this next post is a sponsored post, and as we always say, with sponsored posts, all opinions remain our own. So as long as we're still clear on that, let's talk about Charge, which will be hosting a Kickboxer marathon this weekend. The feet start flying on August 30th, and the marathon kicks off, see what I did there, with 1989's Kickboxer starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the series continues through Kickboxer 5: The Redemption. And here's the full schedule for the upcoming marathon, and you can tune in on August 30th over on Charge. In other sponsored post news, earlier this month, TBD hosted a marathon for the adventure documentary series Life on the Edge. And if you missed out when that marathon aired, don't worry. You can still get your adventure fix in over at tbd.com, where several episodes are currently available on demand. You can also catch the series on TBD's app, which is available on iOS and Android, or over on the free streaming service, Stir. And last but by no means least, we have more info on the ongoing dispute between AT&T and AMC. Now to recap, AMC filed a complaint with the Federal Communications Commission claiming that AT&T was showing favoritism to its own networks over smaller networks like, well, AMC. The complaint claims that AT&T wanted to reduce how much it pays to carry AMC and asked the FCC to require AT&T to carry those networks with rates and conditions more in line with what it pays for affiliated networks like HBO. Well, this week AT&T fired back, saying that requiring the company to pay at rates similar to HBO would force AT&T into, quote, overpaying AMCN for content that is not popular enough to justify the fees it is demanding. It also mentions several AMC networks as being not popular enough, including BBC America, IFC, and Sundance TV. And as for comparisons to HBO, well, AT&T says HBO is a more worthwhile investment, in part because it's securing more high-end programming than AMC is. In any case, we'll continue to monitor the issue and report back with any further developments. For now, though, that wraps up another edition and another week here at Cord Cutting Today. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'd of course love it if you click those like and subscribe buttons while you're here. I mean, if you're looking to stay on top of the cord cutting and streaming scene, this is a great place to be. In any case, I hope you all have a wonderful and safe weekend. My name is Philip Palermo. Happy streaming, and take care.